Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 10. So Module 10, we are working on your rough draft of your argument essay. So you've chosen your topic, you've gotten some feedback on it, you have prepared a thesis and outline, you've started working with sources related to your topic. Now you are ready to actually start drafting the essay. There are 2 assignments in this module, and it's really important to get these done on time, particularly the draft assignment, because you're going to take that draft and in the next module, you're going to submit it to 2 more places for feedback. So you submit it to me first, and then in the next module, you're going to submit it to your peers and to the online writing lab. So you want to make sure that you're prepared for that, because if you miss some deadlines at the beginning of the next module, you won't be able to complete those assignments. So looking here, we've got 2 assignments to do. The first step is to actually draft your essay. So I've got the argument assignment in here again, as well as some more resources just to get you going if you're struggling with how to draft. And then you're actually turning in your draft here. So this is the instructor feedback draft. The expectations are that you have at least 2 full pages of text written, and that you have, introduction, thesis, body paragraphs, etc., and that you've started using sources. This is really important because if you wait until the last minute to add in a source and you do it incorrectly, that's going to be a whole category in the criteria that you're going to get a lower grade on. And so I really encourage you to think about, just as you're writing, where are some good spots where I could use a paraphrase or a quotation just to help back up, you add more evidence, that kind of thing. Realizing that, of course, you should have chosen a topic falling into one of the 3 categories on the assignment sheet. And so you may have chosen a topic that's a little bit more personal, where you're relying on personal experience. That's fine. Just keep in mind that you do have to use at least 1 source in this essay. So once you're done writing out a draft, you're going to just submit it here. Start assignment, submit that. One of the things I want you to remember is that you are going to need to write this entirely on your own. I'm going to start putting, for every assignment, I'll put a little note at the bottom, either or somewhere in the text, whether or not use of AI is acceptable for that particular assignment. Because some of them, there's an option, and some of them it's not. In this case, you are not allowed to use AI. Any detectable use of AI will result in a 0 for the assignment. It's entirely your own writing. Because this is a draft, though, you are not going to lose points for your writing. So this is entirely based on, did you actually write a rough draft of your argument essay? That's it. So those are pretty easy 25 points to get, because if your draft is a mess, that's okay. That's why we do a rough draft phase in the writing process. So making sure that you are doing your own writing and just kind of prepared to keep working on that and finding your own errors and that kind of thing, and working toward creating a better final draft. That's what we want. So just keep that in mind as you write. Do not use AI for this assignment. Otherwise, you may end up with a 0 on it. So once you're done and you've submitted a draft of your essay, the next step is to do a self-edit of it. This assignment you are allowed to use AI on if you want to. There are 2 options. We've done self-editing before, but this one is going a little bit more general than what we've done before. So you have 5 categories that I want you to look at, and they're from the checklist for global revision in your Rules for Writers textbook. So if you type in page 41, you'll probably have to go forward 1 page, because it doesn't, for some reason, it doesn't work real well. But there's 5 categories: purpose and audience, focus, organization and paragraphing, content, and point of view. Underneath each one are multiple questions related to that area. And so what you're going to do is, taking your own draft, looking over it, you can, you're going to give me a bulleted list of answers to each of these individual questions. Your answers should be complete sentences. They need to be specific to your essay. They need to be critical. We want to make sure that you're prepared to improve your essay. So that's the first option for your self-edit. The second option would be to use AI to help you with the same 5 categories. So rather than, collating all of those ideas yourself, you're going to look and see what AI tells you. Now, if you want to do both of these options, that's totally fine as well. That actually might help you even more, but that is an additional step. So what you're going to do for the AI option is you take this prompt, which is asking AI to act as a writing tutor looking at an argument essay. That's really important to give it some really specific instructions, and then providing critical feedback for the following categories. And these are the same categories in the textbook. So what I've done is I've only experimented with ChatGPT and Gemini. You're welcome to use some others if you want to, but I don't have as much experience with that. So I've got Google Gemini open here, and I've given it this prompt. So what I'm going to do now is I've got this essay. This is like a student essay that I've had for a while. So I'm going to see what it says. So I just copy and paste the text of the essay. Make sure you get all of it. And then you're going to put it in there. Now, obviously, it's not going to be able to see things like formatting when you just copy and paste it in like this. And so there are some positives and negatives to this. Is just looking at the text. And so you'll give it a little while to kind of look it over, and then it should pop out some feedback that gives you some just like categories of where to improve, that kind of thing. And in this case, it's put it into the different categories that you've asked it for. Once it's done spitting out all that feedback, ChatGPT will, I don't know if Gemini will actually put it into a Word document for you, like format it into a Word document. It might do that. But you don't have to do that necessarily. You can just copy and paste it. And so copy and paste their feedback into a new document, and that's what you're going to upload here. Once you have their feedback, I want you to look it over, and then underneath you're going to give a little bit of a like reflection on what's most useful and least useful. What do you think you're going to be changing? That kind of thing. So I want to know, how did this help you? Did this help you at all? What are you going to do with it? So similar to if you're doing it yourself. And then it gives, this is nice because it gives you like a table of different issues, and then you can kind of refine it as well and keep getting into more and more help if you want to. But this is just kind of the first level or layer of doing any kind of revision. So you want to look through their feedback and then decide, what do you think you're actually going to be doing with this? Is this helpful at all? Is there anything that you can see right away? This is an issue in my writing. I'm going to have to work on this, that kind of thing. So what you turn in here then is the file that has the feedback from the AI, as well as a short reflection underneath of just kind of how helpful it was. And then you'll turn that in. So either you're going to have your self-editing answers in just kind of a bulleted list, or you're going to have the feedback from the AI program with a little reflection at the bottom. And that's what you're going to turn into this assignment. Now, at this point, you don't really have to make any changes to your essay, but you can if you want to, depending on how much time you have at the end of the module, because in the next module, we're going to submit your same rough draft to the writing lab and to your peers. So if you want to make changes at this stage, you certainly can, but keeping in mind, we're about to get more feedback from different places as well, so it's kind of up to you. If you have watched this video all the way through, send me an email and I will give you some extra credit. I really appreciate students who sit down and actually watch all of these videos to the end, because it does take me a little while to do them. So I appreciate you taking the time to help improve your education, and I hope you have a great week.